Alright, let's compare two characters that are similar to each other, but one does something better than the other. Wow, that's kind of a convoluted way to start the video, but whatever, let's get to the intro already. Alright, today we're going to compare two characters, Walter White and Tony Soprano. Now, the thing about it is that the last video that I made, it was about media literacy. And you have all these people going on about their live-action crime dramas, and I name-dropped The Sopranos as an example of a live-action crime drama that I like. So, the thing about it is why is it that I like The Sopranos, but I don't like other ones? Well, I feel like the best example to use in this situation right here would be Breaking Bad. Yes, Breaking Bad, in my opinion, holds all the problems I pretty much have with this genre as a whole, and honestly, I feel like I'm kind of alone in this situation right here when it comes to this whole thing, but maybe when I point it out, you guys will understand where I'm coming from. Especially when you consider that the main problem with Breaking Bad that I have is mostly with its protagonist. The rest of the characters I really like. That's probably the reason why I prefer something like Better Call Saul over Breaking Bad, especially since Walter's not even in it. So, I guess now that I'm bringing that up, it kind of makes sense as, you know, maybe instead of reviewing the show as a whole, I talk about the biggest problem with it, that being Walter himself, and comparing it to a show that I really like, where it has a really good protagonist. So, yeah, I figure, why not do it like this, you know, especially since that's the way I think it would make the most amount of sense, since if I were to review Breaking Bad on its own, I would mostly just be talking about Walter, which some people may have accused me of doing that with Taxi Driver, but I'm just gonna admit straight up, like, Taxi Driver I feel like is worse than Breaking Bad because it doesn't have a good cast, like, at all. You either have horrible characters like Travis, or bland, boring, and generic characters. Regardless, this isn't about Taxi Driver. This is about comparing The Sopranos to Breaking Bad, so let's get into it right away. Okay, so one thing that I feel like that these types of shows try to do is that they try to, you know, form a more realistic type of story. And this is crucial to these live-action crime drama shows. Now, obviously, when it comes to these shows, they're very hit or miss when it comes to stuff like that. But with The Sopranos, they managed to do it pretty well. Now, what do I mean by realistic? I mean, like, realistic as in dialogue between characters and how people interact, right? Now, the thing about it is that, yes, while in Breaking Bad, there are people like Walter White at the same time. Okay, I'll get to that when I get to that. We're talking about Tony Soprano right now. But yes, Tony Soprano feels like a real person that you'd actually be able to interact with in real life. Like, here's the thing. There's a difference between a character and a caricature. And Tony Soprano is a character, right? But he's a character that feels true to life, in a sense, if you know what I mean, right? And I'm pretty sure if you've seen the show, you definitely 100% do know what I mean. Or at least I hope so. I mean, if you don't know what I mean, then, well, I feel like the best thing that I could do is to pretty much give an example from the show itself. I mean, I might as well. Here, take a look.
Back. I was referred by a Dr. Jennifer Melfi. Yes, I would. Anytime that's good for you. That's great. That's fine. Grove Avenue, right. Okay. I gotta go. Bye-bye.
What was that?
It's the paving guy. I'm thinking of having the driveway redone.
You smoking?
What is this, a third degree?
It says with pulp.
You like it with pulp.
Not this much. I like the one that says some pulp. The fuck was that for?
I'll write you up a list.
You see, now that's the type of conversation that you'd expect to see from a married couple. Like, yeah, like, there are a lot of times where, like, the husband or the father or whatever would, say something ridiculous like that. I've heard my dad say funny stuff like that to my mom before, that both me and my mom would think, hey, what the fuck, man? Like, what are you on? So, yeah, like, that right there is realistic dialogue that is very much so believable for the character. And the way that, his actor, portrayed the line, very realistic. Like, that's how people talk. Like, you'd go around, if you were to eavesdrop into someone's conversation in their private house, which I don't recommend doing because that's very illegal, but, like, if you were to do that, that's the exact type of thing that you would hear. So, yeah, like, I don't know. Like, you may hear this and you'd think, oh, well, that's just normal. I mean, you'd see this in any show, right? Ho, ho, ho. No, no, no. Oh, boy. Wait until you hear the dialogue in Breaking Bad. Speaking of which...
You smell like you farted.
Oh my fucking god. Where do I begin with Walter White? He has probably got to be the most annoying sounding character that I've ever heard for extremely personal reasons. Now, I know what you guys may be saying. Oh, but there are worse characters out there. And while, yes, objectively that is true, there are characters out there who are way more annoying. At the same time, this one in particular grinds my gears to the most personal level imaginable. Why? Well, it's not just because of the amount of people who try to imitate him in day-to-day life. That's one of the reasons, but not the main reason. It's because of the fact that he just sounds so unnatural. Like, if he's trying to hold in a diarrhea throughout the entire recording session for, the fucking thing, right? Like, I'm sorry, I'm just so pissed off right now that I can't even think correctly. Just look. This is what he fucking sounds like.
No, you clearly don't know who you're talking to, so let me clue you in. I am not in danger, Skylar. I am the danger. A guy opens his door and gets shot, and you think that of me? No. I am the one who knocks.
Now, let me play that clip again, but with different footage, so that way you would know exactly what I'm talking about. Because I bet you there's probably some people watching this thinking, oh, well, I don't see what's wrong with this. Just take a look.
I am the one who knocks.
Okay, now you guys may see this clip and think to yourself, well, this doesn't make any sense. And you know what? You're right for the most part if you don't know. But let me explain so it will make sense and you'll understand. So basically the thing about it is that Breaking Bad only became popular after it ended. Sure, around season 4, which is the second to last season of Breaking Bad, more people started to get into the show, but it really only became truly popular after it ended, which is why most people talk about it in the context of binging it on Netflix, because, well, that's when it was most popular, when all the episodes were already out and people were binging the entire series. And you may think, okay, yeah, that's fair, right? However, something that a lot of people don't understand is that this seemed to happen at a very strange time. Yes, this is a wrong place, wrong time type of scenario. Basically, Breaking Bad sort of became a household name around 2014, and there was a weird 4-year time period between 2014 and 2018 that sort of caught the rise of a lot of incel type groups, right? And one of the subsections of these incel groups are the people who like to act tough in order to intimidate people into submission, right? Now, you see, the thing about it is that before Breaking Bad, no one really started talking like Walter White. Hell, even when the show was still airing, no one talked about him. Not about him, but like him in a similar cadence, right? That's what I'm trying to say. Heck, even during season 4, people didn't talk like Walter White, which is when the show started to become popular. But it wasn't until that special time, 2014 until 2018, when it started to rise up. This didn't die down until 2024, but like extremely late 2024 to early 2025. So this is a recent thing that just concluded, which is crazy to think about. And I'll get into why it concluded near the end of the video, but whatever the case may be, yes, a lot of people who like to put on this faux tough guy act, they talk like Walter White. And the thing about it is, as I said before, no one was doing this beforehand. The whole reason why Bryan Cranston was doing that type of voice is because the way he was portraying Walter seemed extremely confused. Yes, he did want to put on that sort of, almost scared type of way of talking since, Walter is a chemistry teacher, right? He's not used to all this, crime stuff, and even when he was starting to get into it more around season 2, you could still tell from the sound of his voice that he's clearly scared, yet people still take him seriously anyways through his violent actions, even if, I'd argue that in real life, people still wouldn't regardless just from the way he talks. But it only became laughable very recently. But even then, during the show's running time, I still think it should have been made fun of because of the fact that it just seems very contradictory. Bryan Cranston was really trying to toe that line between a scared chemistry teacher and a hardened criminal, and it just seems like something that just doesn't really mix together very well. I've already showed you the clip, so you could pretty much very easily imagine that. But you know what? I want to spend this time in the video talking about the aftermath of this show's increase in popularity and people talking like this. This especially became rampant around the 3 years in between, 2015, 2016, and 2017, and it only got worse afterwards. So, yeah, but this was during the peak, where it was the most rampant, yet the least noticed. But let's, play some clips of people who love to talk in this fucking pseudo-tough guy type voice, shall we?
3 days worth of suspension. And, Christian, look at me. I mean, really look at me. Do I look like a teacher you want to mess with? Seriously. Think about it. Because once a student gets on my bad side, I make sure that they're not a problem again.
Doubled, man.
Dude, you hear me?
Because these are people I have taken in to take care of. I have never and never will do anything sexual with. These people have been abuse victims of that type of degenerate garbage. And you know that because I've told you that. And on top of that, I have told you before, you've got an issue with me, pick it up with me.
Why does he sound like...
So yes, as I said before, this is a very much so widespread issue that ran rampant up until 2025, early 2025, late 2024, early 2025. So with that being said, why was this such a big issue? Well, I feel like personally it's because of how the character himself was portrayed and what people, saw in that, right? Now, here's the thing. A good majority of the characters, as opposed to, well, aside from, like, the ones in Season 1 and another exception, which I'll get to later, didn't really, see Walter as, like, the scared chemistry teacher type of guy, even though throughout the entire series he spoke like that pretty much the whole time, right? So, when there was, like, a scene where, like, he's supposed to be all serious and scary and shit, he still talked like that. And people saw this and thought that it would work and pretty much fucking tried to attempt it in real life. You see, it fucking astounds me how there's, like, all these, like, pseudo-intellectual retards out there who want to talk to us about what is apparently a quote-unquote MK Ultra support group and what's not. But then you have these people who pretty much have the media literacy of if Beavis and Butthead were real people. Like, whoa, that's cool. I want to do that in real life. Yeah, here. Like, like something pretty much like that, right? And honestly, like, I'm just gonna say it straight up, like, it pretty much baffles me that this was able to last as long as it did, and only went out of style recently. And I think the main reason why it went out of style as recent as it did is because I think now that people are starting to see a lot of the corruption that's going on recently with a lot of people like this, they're more willing to talk out about it and make fun of it, even though I feel like they should have been doing the exact thing much earlier. But whatever the case may be, yes, people who talk like this now get made fun of a lot. And I feel like that it's pretty cathartic to see because they fucking deserve it. Like, these people out here are pretending to be this wrinkly little shy, timid fucking chemistry teacher in order to intimidate people. And honestly, I think that's fucking hilarious given the juxtaposition. Like, imagine talking to someone like, I'm going to smash your fucking skull into the ground. Like, imagine talking to someone like that and thinking that you're scary to them. Can laugh at you. Think that you're a fucking joke. And you know what? They're probably more likely the ones to commit violence against you anyway, and I feel like you'd probably deserve it. But yeah, fuck people who talk like Walter White, and fuck Walter White for creating people who talk like Walter White. Regardless of what's being said though, like, I feel like that because of the show's more realistic and down-to-earth interpretation of the characters and the world that they live in, I feel like that this makes the show worse. Like, seriously, this show is trying to be as realistic as possible. It has a character who talks like that people are afraid of. Like, I'm sorry, what? Like, this is like some fucking bullshit that you'd see in fucking fanfiction land. Like, were the writers who were making this show, were their heads stuck in Narnia or something? Like, what the fuck is this? Like, Jesus Christ. Like, regardless of that, though, another thing a lot of people want to talk about, and this is gonna, tie into the show's realistic tone, is how people want to make the argument that, oh, well, Rocky, why do you hate Breaking Bad for doing this when anime has stuff similar to this? You have to hate anime now, or else you're a part of an MK Ultra support group. Like, honestly, when I hear people say that, I feel like that they're extremely retarded, especially if they're going to be pseudo-intellectual about media literacy, because there's one term that I feel like even the most basic people know, and that is suspension of disbelief. I feel like the less that something's trying to be realistic, the more you're able to use suspension of disbelief. And it's especially easy to do that when it's an animated project. Like, if you see characters that are literally just drawings, like, yeah, they can do whatever the fuck they want. They can sound whatever the fuck they want because of that magical thing called suspension of disbelief. when something like Breaking Bad is trying to be as realistic and down to earth as possible, you can't really use that argument because it's trying to be realistic. So, yeah. Like, that's why I fucking hate it when people use that fucking double standard, like, argument, especially when it's in the reverse. Like, this is like a less dramatic equivalent of people like Food Zen who think that fucking actual CP is good, but shit with fucking drawings is apparently illegal, even though the shit that they like actually is illegal. Like, oh what, you're gonna call 911 on someone for looking at a drawing? Well, what if I call 911 on you for having possession of footage of actual real-life children being harmed, maimed, raped, and mutilated? Like, you see how that doesn't work? Like, oh, I'm gonna call 911. Like, okay, well, I do the same thing, and you might actually go to jail for real. Yeah, but regardless, though, like, back on topic, right? Walter White, I think, fucking sucks. And, yeah, but there's more to this that needs to be said that I'm gonna save for the next part of the video, which is coming up real soon anyways. But aside from that, though, yeah, like, what else is there to say about Walt? Like, he sounds all timid and shy. Like, you could make a fucking ASMR shy anime bunny cat girl thing and have it be just fucking Walter White. Pay good money to see something like that. That'd be funny.
To make a long fucking story short, I put a whole bag of jelly beans up my ass.
So, let's wrap everything up and conclude the video by recapping everything that we talked about. So, Walter White fucking sucks because of the fact that he's not an accurate or realistic representation of people who are feared in the drug industry. And I get it, like, yeah, some people want to say, oh, well, it's just a TV show, but the thing about it is that it's trying to be realistic, and if it wasn't, then you very well so easily could use the suspension of disbelief argument, as opposed to Tony Soprano, who's a very good realistic interpretation of an Italian mobster, even within his very own day-to-day life. So, yes, Tony Soprano is the superior character, he's a better character. I love The Sopranos, I love Tony Soprano, it's such a good show. So, yeah, and back on topic to Walter White, though, like, when it comes to the legacy that his character has in the current day, or at least formerly, he kind of has a bad legacy, mainly because he inspired a lot of retards who want to try using bullshit intimidation tactics, which ultimately led to failure in the long run, since now people are very rightfully making fun of people who talk like that. But yeah, so with all that being said, we should make it pretty clear that the obvious superior character is Tony Soprano. More people should be watching and talking about The Sopranos. And, yeah. So, should I end the video here, or should I keep going? Well, I guess I could keep going for a little while longer, just so I could bring up some important updates about the channel. So, when it comes to some important updates about the channel, I actually plan on uploading more frequently, and by that I mean doing more than just one video a day, and I hope I could stick to that promise, because pretty soon I won't be able to upload as frequently anymore, so I want to get all the big stuff out as quickly as I can, whilst at the same time not rushing content, if you guys know what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, with all that being said, though, yeah, I hope to see you guys in future videos. I hope that the comment section in this video is civil. I hope the people watching are good people. And, yeah, to finish things off, I would like to say that, you know, if you're going to support content creators, there are people like me who deserve support, but not just me, but other people who do good quality analysis type videos and not fucking AI generated bullshit. I do recommend looking back at some older content creators, going into their stuff because of the fact that people from back then made better content that wasn't AI generated. So, yeah. And I guess I might want to end the video here. Maybe I could consider, recommending some other stuff too. I already recommended The Sopranos. It's a good show. Let's see, what's another show that I could recommend? I mean, this one might be obvious, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Yeah, go watch Fully Cooley right now, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.